We have today Manuel Suarez. He's the CEO and founder of Attention Grabbing Media, a full service marketing agency that helps its clients scale their online presence. Now, Manuel has grown his company from the ground up and has become a notable figure in the marketing world. Manuel, how are you doing today?
Philip, it's so good to be here. Appreciate it very much, the invite and being a part of a community of like-minded people that are conquering the world together. And it's just great to be here. Today it's a little bit of an emotional day. It's what they call, as we're recording this, they call it Boss Day. So I walk into my office and I had all my incredible staff give me an incredible welcome. And oh man, everybody gave me a letter that I have to read now, and balloons and a lot of stuff, and bittersweet, Philip. As you know, we had chatted before. You know that I lost my dad this year, and yes. He was the greatest boss I ever had. I could say, aside from my wife, my only boss. So just reminiscing how incredible it was to have my life close to that guy. So it's an emotional day, but again, bittersweet. It's exciting to look at my team and see what the journey that I've been through to have what I have, and I'm grateful, man. So it's a day full of gratefulness, that's for sure. I'm very, very grateful to be where I'm at.
That's exactly what I want to talk to you about. Is you've been able to build this company where, I mean, you just said before we hit record, we talked about this. You're one away from 100 employees. And, you know, I personally follow you on social media, and I saw that you have a mission where you actually believe in getting a team together. You know, you believe in that. So to come in on Boss Day and have people personally write you letters when most people try to avoid their boss, you're doing something different. So why don't we start there? Because you've helped create this 8-figure business with over now close to 100 employees, right? A 6,000 square foot office in Lago, Florida. Okay, how did you get here? Because I know the story specifically of like where you may have started, but in your own right, you now have a team of 100 people that you've inspired to believe in you. How did you find within yourself this mindset of this is how the culture of my team will operate?
Wow. It's been quite a journey, Philip. It's been a process of discovery. Me growing up thinking that I was going to be a failure in life because I had no system education, and because the world told me that I was not supposed to succeed based on my journey as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, just not believing in any of the system elements, and you know, just going through that journey step by step and getting to where I'm at here today. It's been incredible. I think that I can tell you, Philip, that the fact that I have this team and I have a lot of loyalty and people that I consider to be friends, and people that are out there in good times and bad times with me, and they've been around with me for many years. I have one of my guys that's been with me for many years at this point, and he's told me in the past, Manuel, if you decided to sell AGM and opening up a burger joint and start flipping burgers, I'm in it with you. I'll go flip burgers with you all day long. That thing, and I believe that that's something that gets developed with a real desire to help people, like a real intention to make people around you better. I just made a post about this today, Philip, before we recorded, feeling emotional about the day and the fact that I had this incredible group of people that I call my team, and you know, combination of the first official day that every single year they celebrate this thing in the United States called the Boss Day, right? So we always do something special for the boss. I don't have my dad anymore, and just remembering all of that, it makes me also recollect, remember the process of building this group of people, and it all goes down to, first of all, I'm a social guy. I really, really enjoy playing the game with people. I love hanging out with friends, and I enjoy that process. There's other people that like to be by themselves, and they like to work behind a screen and a keyboard and just disconnect from the world. I love building things with people together. I really enjoy that. So even though a lot of people could be more profitable than me, having an organization of less people making more money, this drives me. Man, does it drive me to conquer the world together with people around me. Not only making myself better, but making everybody else around me better. I think that a definition for a leader, like a real good definition of a leader, is somebody that is consistently looking to make other people's lives around them better. And you're more interested in others than you are in yourself. And you really, really mean it. And at the same time, you have an enormous ability to inspire others. But here's the thing. It's not an intentional push towards inspiring. It happens naturally with your actual burning fire to succeed. That's the way that I see it. So I see people around me getting inspired and becoming the best possible version of themselves. But the way that it happens, I don't mean for it to happen. Naturally, I am inclined to thriving, to success, to expansion, to doing better. And by having that inspiration in myself, that I believe that I see other people around me also not really understanding what their skills and abilities are, I want to make them better. I want to inspire them to do better. I want them to realize themselves that they can actually do more and accomplish more in life. In my company, Philip, I do not ask for resumes. Nobody would actually be denied a job, an opportunity in my company because they didn't have a resume. On the contrary, I couldn't care less about a resume. I don't have one myself. I love the process of people self-discovering and realizing what their abilities are. Why? Because that's exactly what happened to me, Philip. I discovered my own abilities along the way, not realizing that I had these abilities. It began with an urgent need to produce money. It began with an economy melting and companies falling apart and the real estate market collapsing and me losing a house and having to declare bankruptcy and having children that I had to actually help survive. That's how it began. So it was an urgency to survive that led me to, okay, you know what? There's only two directions in life. There's not really a middle ground. You either survive or succumb. You either thrive or fall down. One or the other, right? There's not really any status quo. Things don't stay the same. They get worse or they get better. So knowing that and understanding that basic truth in life, I just decided to make myself better. And I jumped into opportunities and I looked for what can I do to do a little bit better in life. And I tried things and I failed. And then I tried another thing and I failed until I found something that I really loved. I had an opportunity to work with my dad to build a brand together in the United States. And that started working and I added some fuel to that fire. And little by little, man, it's been a journey. It's been probably 14 years since I decided to survive and do better. 14 years, 2007 was the first year that I was like, okay, good. The system is telling me that I'm going to be a failure. I'm going to try to do something about it. Let me try to like change things around here. And let me try to disagree with what the world is saying about what I should be. And let me go and try to create my own future and create my own fate and my own destiny. And let me start doing something about it. And that's when I started doing things. Now, it wasn't overnight. I spent maybe a good solid 5 years failing some more, right? I really did. I invested in different opportunities and I learned how to day trade on the stock market, a complete failure. I learned how to maybe get hard money lending so I can invest in properties at a 25% interest, ridiculous criminal rate and start to flip them. And that was a failure also. And I kept on trying until I discovered this thing called marketing. And I fell in love from the moment that I understood the definition of marketing, which is that process, obsessive process, capturing the attention of somebody to lead them towards a customer journey. I just fell in love and it became my thing. And I didn't stop from that point on. And it's been a great journey over the last, I would say now 8 years of doing something right and expanding to where we're at today of this incredible team. You said that I'm about to hit 100 staff. Well, I have 150 people on our Natural Slim brand, and I have almost 100 in our marketing company, which happens to be the number one asset that our Natural Slim brand has, which is my marketing company.
That's amazing. I love your definition of marketing. It's this obsessive process to lead someone towards the customer journey by grabbing their attention. That's such a clear definition, and it's very like, this is exactly what we're trying to accomplish, and we do it well. And you combine that with the burning desire that you developed, and that you admit it took 5 years to even figure out that this is where your secret sauce was going to be. That's good for someone to hear. And so if you had to go back and do it all over again with the clarity that this was how you were going to start, and you knew you had to build a team because that's how you're motivated, that's how you're inspired, right? How would you do it if you went back and started from scratch with zero team, but you knew you wanted to be in marketing and you had to build a team because that's what kept you on fire? How would you do it again?
So the one most important skill that I believe an entrepreneur needs to have, ability, is that recognition of opportunity. You need to be able, and that sounds like a very general statement, but let me break it down. You need to be able to observe what's happening in the world today. Like if you go to a marketing career in university, they're going to teach you all about marketing basics, and that's great. And you're going to go maybe all Mad Men and understanding the world of capturing attention, but you're not going to understand the world we live in today. In that world, when you graduate in a particular area, the next day it changes, and it changes consistently. So the first thing that you need to understand as a marketer, if I had to go back in time, I'll probably in 2008, as I created the Natural Slim brand, and I was working with that and my dad. I probably would have gotten my dad earlier on the camera. It took us too long. There's things that I can tell you that we should have done a lot earlier. We came such a long way so fast. We would have been further up the line. For example, we have a YouTube channel right now that it's about to cross 5 million subscribers on it, and that feeds our brand worldwide. We probably would have 10 or 12 million subscribers right now. We'd probably be the biggest influencer in Latin America. And that's something that we can change at this point. If I had to go back in 2008, YouTube was already in motion. The content world was already rolling out. The internet was already exploding. And I was still trying to do traditional advertising. I was doing flyers and putting them on the cars and the windshields, and nobody was calling me. I was already doing some cold calling and trying to get people to understand what our business was all about. And I was not able to succeed. Not until we started getting my dad in front of a camera in 2012, we started having some success. And that first year, I can tell you, Philip, that first year of getting my dad in the camera, we had a romantic idea that we wanted to create our own traffic in our own website. And we created a website called metabolismotv.com. And we wanted, instead of sending the traffic to YouTube, we wanted to control that traffic. And we started doing TV ads, commercials to drive traffic to the website. And we started doing all these campaigns. And that was a complete disaster. It was not taking off until at one moment in late 2012, after a year of doing that, anybody can go back to the history of any YouTube channel and see when it was launched. The first ever video was published in October 2012 on the YouTube channel. And I was actually able to convince my dad, said, Dad, this romantic idea of us controlling our own traffic is not working. Let's go on YouTube. Let's put the attention where it's at. Let's try to leverage the enormous traffic that they already have. And I think this is going to be the most important thing that we're going to do. And that was the brightest thing we ever did. There were people that were involved in that decision. My dad he was a very stubborn guy with his ways, very romantic about the way that he wanted to get things done. So we actually had my oldest brother, myself, my wife, everybody was involved on getting him to be like, all right, we got to go and we got to put this on the YouTube channel. And we started doing that. So it all goes back to, we had to do things all over again, Philip, observing opportunities that are present today, not trying to create opportunities. Your job should not be creating the next Facebook, should be taking advantage of the already established enormous visibility of a Facebook app. It should not be to create the next big website. It should be, how do you leverage the attention of those massive powerhouses, like for example, Amazon. People ask me on the world of e-commerce, should I start on Amazon or should I build my own website on Shopify? And the answer is, well, what do you think? Who has more traffic, Amazon or your website that nobody knows about? Amazon has 100 million unique buyers, 100 million monthly that are buying already products there. Your website has 0 monthly unique buyers. So you can actually, and again, I'm a big fan of Shopify and e-commerce, and I'm doing it all like right now, but you got to look at how do you start? What is the roadmap for you to get on the right path? If you take all your money and you go to a Shopify site, Magento, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, whatever, and you put all your money, you need to generate enough traffic and generate enough revenue that it's going to allow you to scale. Well, Amazon is the easiest way. And I'm not here to promote Amazon, but I'm just talking about common sense. So one of the most important things that we all need to have as successful entrepreneurs, business owners, brand owners, is the ability to recognize these opportunities and the ability to use common sense. If you have those things in place, you're going to save yourself a lot of time. Like myself, I would have saved myself 4 years and probably would have been a lot deeper. Like our company is going to do $75 million internationally in 2021. I'll probably be doing $250 million in 2021 if I would have started a little bit earlier instead of wasting those 4 years. My wife and I, in the middle of like Christmas Eve, stopping the celebration and walking out and going to parking lots and where people were partying and putting flyers on every single vehicle out there. And then the next day on the 26th of December, waiting on standby by the phones, and not a single phone would ring. Not a single person would walk in. At some point on the day, the door gets opened. I'm talking about true stories here. And we get all excited about it. And it's the mailman delivering some mails. And at that point, probably like utilities that we had to pay and all these other things. So we could have saved ourselves a lot of time and a lot of money if we actually had the observation of what was the world today that we live in and what things we need to take advantage of right now. I like to describe that as writing opportunities, not creating opportunities, writing existing opportunities out there. And today, 2021, there's some major opportunities present. And we can talk about that for sure.
Yeah, I love that mindset that you're bringing to it, because most people will post a video and then see that it didn't get 1 million views on their first video. How did you keep yourself engaged in the idea that this is definitely working a lot better? Is it because there was actually a view as opposed to everything else? Like, how did you look at that and say, and I think maybe the traffic was a little different then, and because there's multitudes now, people might get even more discouraged. But how did you keep yourself on this path when I know the first couple of videos weren't, home runs?
No way. We always joked about that with my dad, and my dad felt like he was a crazy man talking to himself. Because for a full 6 months, being a 63-year-old man, talking to a camera about his passion, about the subject that he would talk about all day long to his family, to his friends, he wouldn't stop talking about this subject. He's talking to a camera just like you and I right now, and nobody was watching, and that's a reality. And he just kept on doing it. I think that it's all depending on, at an individual level, Philip, you got to stop paying attention to the vanity numbers and how many views and comments and engagement at that first year, as when you're creating content and putting it out there and putting yourself and your message out there consistently. It's all about yourself first getting more comfortable with your own voice and feeling like you do have a message, and also a conviction with the ability that you have to influence the life of somebody else. There's a reason why they call these people influencers. A lot of them are more influencers than others. My dad was an influencer. He had the ability to spread a message and had that person listen to that message and have that person apply the information that was on that message and see results. And that led the person to believing and trusting in whatever my dad had to say. So whenever people consume that content, they believed in my father and whatever he was talking about. So we were not selling to people. People would call us in our Natural Slim brand, and they would say, whatever Frank is talking about, I want in. I want to be a part of that. So it's the conviction with your message and your ability to spread that message. There's different strategies, Philip. I get to work a lot with people that have e-commerce brands. They don't really have a message like my dad. They just want to sell more products. But they all have to realize that this journey of building a business is a long-term journey, and it doesn't happen overnight. And I've actually accomplished success with some people that are not unicorns. I like to call unicorns people that are content creators that we don't have a lot of them in this world. My dad was one example of that. There's not many of them. It's not fair because people don't have that ability. Not everybody has that ability. They don't have the ability to sit in front of a camera and talk and really captivate an audience, dramatically just get these people like starstruck with attention. And not everybody can do that. And not only that, maybe they can, but not everybody wants to do that. They just want to sell their products. They want to sell their services. But if we all understand that the journey is like, this is one of the biggest cliches, right? In the world of business, is that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? This is something that you got to be willing to do long-term. You got to put your head down and you got to do it, because you're doing something that goes beyond just that one body of yours. They also call that building a legacy. You're pushing on doing something that when you're not around, which trust me, it can happen to any of us any day now, when you least expect it, when you're not around, there's a continuity of what you created, and it doesn't just die with you. And that's actually an important part of, I can tell you, my focus is to build a legacy. My dad's content, my father's content is being seen still by 40, 50 million people every single month. And that is living way beyond his one body that now continues to spread his message on this world that we call the internet, that our ancestors never had a chance to be a part of, which is quite amazing.
I love this. And it would be a missed opportunity if I didn't ask, how can a Latino wrap around their head, a Latino would-be entrepreneur who wants to get in this and wants to open themselves up to this possibility, but there's a lot of baggage and there's a lot of self-limiting beliefs. If you're in America and you're Latino, it's the representation, and things are getting better, but being a successful entrepreneur who happens to be Latino, right? How would you, and this is obviously a very specified segment, but I believe it's worth exploring. How would you encourage them or have them thinking about the pursuit of entrepreneurialism?
Philip, Latinos are such a powerful market at this point, and it's one of the most powerful, fastest expanding markets that are out there. In the United States alone, our natural swim businesses, as you know, our biggest side of the business is the United States, and we service Latin American people only. There are over 50 million Latin American people living in the United States of America. That is a bigger population than most Latin American countries out there. It is an enormous amount of people in this country that have the same exact ability to open up their wallets and give you their credit card information and give you their money, because they live in one of the best economies in the world. So the Latin American population is something that is just getting started and is thriving, and a lot of people are just focusing on delivering to that particular audience. And I like to describe it as an underserviced audience. So one of the things that one of my goals, Philip, is to talk a lot more to our Latin American people, because generally I have seen that the Latin American world is several years behind what happens in the USA. So this massive boom that we've had on e-commerce, on social media, digital marketing, all those things are basically at that stage right now that the US was 5 years ago. It's just getting started. There's a massive opportunity. They're using the content and the platforms like crazy. And all you got to do is get some courage and start spreading your message and be consistent about it. And it's so much like, it really does start with mindset. We can get really practical about this, and we can talk about the game plan and the step-by-step that you have to execute, but you got to really have that mindset in place, to conviction that your products and services are great and you can really help people and you can influence them positively, and a desire to play the long game because you really believe in what your business is all about. Like, you're willing to go and put yourself on that marathon that is going to be here for a long time. it's going to be for years and generations. And hopefully you can pass on to your children. And it's a long game of you to capture attention, generate more business, more revenue, and take your business to the next level along the way as you are writing these opportunities that are evolving in this world of the internet, that it's a brand new world and it's still in development.
I love that because it is. I've often thought to myself, I'm half Latino, and I often see how underutilized my entire half of my identity, that which is really my whole identity because I was raised in a Latino household, right? I often think to myself how little I use it outside of meeting with my family to eat dinner. I rarely get the opportunity to exercise that entire part of who I am. And yet there's a whole economy behind that, just waiting to be tapped into, or a whole team that can be inspired to be part of that, to help tap into that economy. And I also agree with you that more companies should be looking at how to explore and serve these markets that do have different needs, similar needs, but different needs. And nothing is catering to them in the marketplace that I see today, unless they speak English specifically. And it's a very American thing. And that's cool because we are in America, but at the same time, don't miss the opportunities, right? And if you are a Latino entrepreneur, I'm thinking to myself, take a page out of what you've said, right? Which is, and I just want to recap here, right? This mindset is going to be super important. You have to have the conviction, if not practice, until you find the conviction that what you have to say, offer, or do for someone else beyond yourself is important, that there is a significance behind you taking this step forward. If you feel that, then trust it and do it, but be prepared for a long journey. This is what I'm understanding at the core is the nucleus of the operating software, the system that you run with. And then from there, pretty much anything else is up to you to paint with whatever colors you want as an artist entrepreneur. Is that correct?
Yeah, I like to say, Philip, this is just because sometimes I talk very big picture, right? And how do we get more practical about this? If you were to ask me, which you kind of did already, like, what is how'd you get here? How did you get to, the massive size of Natural Slim and what the company is? And I do believe that we're just getting started. I was talking to my wife the other day. I'm like, did you see Herbalife's revenue in 2021, in 2020? We're just getting started. I mean, in all honesty, right? But still, it's a pretty incredible thing what we've accomplished from the ground up. And also my marketing agency in a matter of 5 years, what we are today and what we service and what we've accomplished is quite amazing. How do we get to, what is the number one thing that I have consistently done to get me to where I'm at today? And the answer is very simple and it's very straightforward. And it is the biggest truth that I will ever say to you. And that is the desire to really provide value, and just provide value without an obligation of, without making people feel like they should be paying me something for that value. And I want to be extra clear on that point, because still today, my marketing agency, which, like Philip said earlier, it's an 8-figure business, generating a lot of revenue, expanding like crazy, growing every single year. Natural Slim, growing. These businesses are built on the goodwill of a leader that wants to just deliver services, educate, provide value, inspire, entertain. That's what we wanted to do. I go back, Philip, my journey begins, my agency's journey begins with, after I accomplished success and my Natural Slim brand was already doing pretty well. In 2016, people started asking me to talk in different places. And I said, you know what? I think that's something that I could do. I didn't even know that I had the ability to speak or get on a stage, but I'm going to go for it. And I got on a stage for the first time ever in my life on a conference full of huge business owners, very successful, smart people. I got on that stage in 2017 in January for the first time ever in front of 50 people. I doubted myself for a full 10 seconds. I didn't know what the heck I was doing on that stage, but I just said, you know what? Let's go. And I started just talking. And from that point on, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, it's been almost 5 full years that I haven't stopped talking, almost to the point that any other human beings will just run out of saliva. Thank God that we just keep on producing it. I talked a lot. I have done thousands of trainings, thousands of webinars and seminars, and hours of content. These pieces of content, 99.99% of them do not sell anything. So how do you think I have this thing that I have around me now? Like all the staff and all the revenue and all the expansion, all the success. Did I just take a magic pill? Or maybe there's something about this formula of really giving them a little bit of your superpower, understanding that if you make others better and you don't ask for anything in return, it will inevitably come back to you. Some people call it karma. Some people call it like destiny. You call it whatever the heck you want to call it. But when you do this consistently, and when you do it without really, really looking for them to give you back, it's magical. My dad, it's just that what we did for Natural Slim is the exact same thing. We just gave. If you go to my dad's videos on YouTube, 2,200 of them, a lot of content, you're not going to find my dad promoting or selling the Natural Slim brand. So how the heck do people endlessly call us every single day asking for our products, even though we don't promote it enough? For every 100 pieces of content that we put out there, 99 point something of them are strictly just giving value, information, inspiring, educating, trying to use our superpower to make them better. And things are magical. When you do this consistently, it comes back to you, man. It really does come back to you. It really flows back. It is the magical thing of this world that when you do it honestly and sincerely, not hoping or praying that people open up their wallets, it will return. And I really, really believe in that. And when people come to AGM Marketing and to our organization, we try to focus on what can we do to make the world a better place for your content? What can we do to make people better? I know it sounds like this idealistic thing, but I'm telling you, we always find something that a brand has as a superpower that they can use to make somebody else better. And by doing so, we get the strategy going. So you can actually generate sales right now. And at some point, once you start promoting, it dies, or you can build something that is full of value and full of changing the world and making it better. And now, even if you stop promoting it, it just keeps on coming back. People that I work with, like Dr. Berg, it just keeps on coming back. We can turn off all ads, Philip. I can literally put everything to zero advertising, and it will just keep on coming back. It is incredible. And it's been tested over and over again that when you focus on giving first and not asking and trying to hold your breath as long as possible, you win. You win the game. That's the way it works.
You've definitely made it clear. And what I love about that is that being on this podcast is one perfect example of how much value you delivered without any expectation of anything. You're like, great, I'm going to leave all this value behind because that's what I do. That's who I am. So anybody listening right now, the listener can literally sit here and say, you've been impacted and influenced from someone who was literally just contributing value to the world. That is exactly the mirror of that. And so with that, I want to invite the listener to know where they can connect with you immediately, where they can learn more about you, whether it's a social channel, the YouTube channel, your website. What do you want to send people towards?
Absolutely. Well, AGM stands for Attention Grabbing Media. It's the name of our company, agmagency.com. If anybody wants to find out a little bit more about what we do. We do have a collaboration going on with the People's Shark, Damon John. If anybody wants to find out about that one, you can go to sharkagm.com. And we are helping people get set up on these channels and helping them launch on social media so they can actually generate attention with these platforms. And given a little bit of us, I partnered with Damon a while ago, a little bit over a year, because Damon is very in line with my philosophy of just giving. This is a guy that has accomplished massive financial success, and we connected because he wanted to be able to help his audience. And we've been helping a lot of people set up to succeed in this environment of social media. And we're helping people every day. So sharkagm.com is a website, and the other one is agmagency.com.
I love that. Manuel, thank you so much for stopping by and doing what you do best, creating value, man. It really was nice speaking with you again.
So great to be here, Philip. Thank you very much. And guys, keep on killing it. Keep on conquering the world. There's a lot of opportunities out there, plenty of them.